What's good, everybody? So, in today's Ranveer's LifeHacks episode, I'm going to be addressing one of your questions. My brother Malik Adnan asked whether you should go for an unconventional career or stick to the conventional career choices. Now, a lot of people at 21, 22, they're at this juncture where they have to kind of take a call. I was at that same place a year back, and I feel like because I've made such an unconventional career choice, I'm in a good place to answer this question. Okay, now when we're talking about answering this question, whenever we're talking about figuring this out for yourself, it's a two-part answer. The first is the right kind of internal mentality you need if you're going to go for an unconventional path. And the second is how to go about it in the real world. Okay, but first let's talk about the internal mentality, which is 10 times more important than your external mentality. Okay, so I'm going to start off by telling you guys a story. So there was this guy who wanted to make a lot of money, and he found this one guy who could become his potential mentor. He was like a guru who had made like a lot of money. And this guy goes up to the guru and tells him that, I want to be as rich as you and I want to be as successful as you. What do I do? So that guru tells him that if you want to be as successful as me, meet me at the beach tomorrow at 4 a.m. So this guy says, okay. So he goes to the beach the next day, he meets the guru, and he asks him, now what? So the guru tells him, you see the water? Go and walk into the water. So that guy goes like, what? How's this gonna help me get successful or rich or anything? But he listens to the guru. So this guy walks into the water until the water is at his waist level, and he turns back and looks at his guru and he's like, okay, now what? And the guru tells him, walk ahead. And this guy's like, okay, I just want to be successful and make money. Why is he making me do this? So he goes up to the point where the water's reached his neck level, and the guru follows him into the water then. And he turns back and he asks the guru, okay, now what? And the guru pushes him further. And after pushing him further, the guru comes and holds him under the water. And he makes him struggle for like 30 seconds. And that guy's just struggling. He wants to catch his breath. And finally, the guru lets him out. So this guy is surprised. He's like, why are you doing this? I just want to make money. I just want to be successful. And the guru goes, exactly. What was the one thing you wanted to do when you were underwater? What was the one thing your body wanted? And that guy goes, I just wanted to breathe. I wanted air. So the guru tells him that the day you want to succeed as badly as you wanted to breathe underwater, that's the day you'll succeed. And that's the day I'll start mentoring you. That's the lesson you've got to learn. If you want to succeed in that unconventional career path, the only way you'll succeed is if you want it more than anything in the world. That's the first thing you've got to know. You've got to want it that bad. You need to want to succeed as badly as you want to breathe. You need to dive into that game and you want to be able to come out of it a winner. That's the mentality you should go in with. But the second thing you've got to know is that it's good to have that kind of a drive, that kind of a desire to do well, but you need to have an end goal. You need to figure out what you want to become, not who but what. That's what Arnold Schwarzenegger always said. You need to figure out what you want your legacy to be. When you're dying, what do you want to be remembered for? And I know you're just 22, 23 and it's hard to figure out life right now, but if you have that long-term goal, that's half the game played. You need to have a long-term vision of where you want to take your career, where you want to take your life. That's what matters the most. So you need to have a long-term goal. You need to have the drive that I spoke about, and the drive should drive you on that path to the long-term goal. Now here's the catch. A lot of people want to do something unconventional like entrepreneurship, but they don't have any goal. They just have that domain they want to get into. And that's also fine, because as long as you have that end goal of having a lot of money or being famous or teaching or becoming a sports star, whatever it is, even if you don't know the steps to get there right now, the only thing that matters is your drive and your end goal. Now, this is the internal mentality you need, and that's one side of the game. The external mentality is also important. And the first point when it comes to the external mentality is blocking yourself out to everyone who's telling you that you can't do something. Remember, it's an unconventional career path for a reason. It's unconventional. People aren't ready to do this. So a lot of people, when they hear what you have in mind, they're going to tell you that you won't be able to do it. And you need to get past that. You need to just block them out. Because when you know something internally, that's what matters the most. That's what matters more than 1,000 people telling you that you can't do something. And most of our viewers again are from India, and India is a very judgmental, conventional society. So if you are going to choose an unconventional career, get ready to face a lot of shit from your relatives and your family, friends, and your friends even. But it shouldn't matter, because you came into this world alone and you're going to leave the world alone. What matters is how you perceive yourself and how you perceive your own goals and your ambition. Okay, that's the first part of your external mentality. The second part, which is also very important, is your parents. Okay, now when it comes to parents in India, there's two things you've got to understand. The first is that they grew up at a very different time than us. They have a very different mentality from us. They're not risk takers. Our generation grew up with a lot of American Western influence. So we've grown up kind of in a different place than they did. So they are used to, the conventional career, and more than anything, they used to looking out for you. That's the natural instinct of a parent. They're always looking out for their kid. They want to make sure that you'll be comfortable financially and in every way when you're 30 years old. That's why they want you to stick to the conventional path. So how do you go about convincing them? Remember, they grew up at a different time. I'm going to take my own example. When I told my parents that I wanted to start a YouTube channel, they were like, what? But over time, I educated them. I told them how you can make this a money-making business. And they learned, and now they've accepted it. And yeah, I definitely have very liberal parents. They've allowed me to do this job. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people, especially Indian parents, are super conventional. They're super strict. But they will be convinced eventually with correct education and if they see the drive in you. Remember, you take up any successful person in any field. Take up Sunil Chhetri, take up Virat Kohli, take up Arijit Singh in Bollywood. They're very good at what they do. Football, cricket, singing, they are the kings of their games. But what you need to understand is that that's the only thing they know how to do. Yeah, Virat Kohli probably was a bright student, but he wasn't great at maths or physics. Cricket was his game and he chased that, and his parents saw him chasing that game. Your parents need to be able to see you chasing things. When they see that desire in their kid, when they see that, okay, that kid is driven to get to that goal, they'll help you walk on that path. That's what parents need to see. So, a lot of people, when they're 22, 23, take up something like fitness. A lot of people, they've just been into fitness for like 6 months to a year, and now they want to start a fitness YouTube channel. It's not like that. You can't just pick up random things, get enchanted by it for a while, and make that your life's goal. What you can do instead is dive very deep into some kind of game. So for me, it was fitness. I went as deep as I could into it. And my parents saw how into it I was, and that's why they were like, okay, he'll do something in this field. That's what you need to understand. If you want to convince your parents, you need to give them some kind of proof for them to see. Virat Kohli played cricket his whole life. His parents saw him growing up, going for practice and all that. That's what you got to show your parents. If your parents are educated and if they see the drive, they're going to allow you. Okay guys, that pretty much covers it all in terms of mentality. But as a side note, I just want to tell you guys that the one thing Indians don't understand is that in 2016, you can create a career out of absolutely anything. Any interest you have, you can create a career. That's how the world is changing. Now, a lot of Indian parents and a lot of conventional Indian students, even people our age who've just done the conventional things in their career, the engineering, the medicine, the CA, they think that those are the only careers where you can make money because that's what they've been told their entire life. You need to get out of that box that you're living in if you're one of those people and come out into the real world. When I was graduating from engineering college, just like any other guy, I always had that fear that, will I be able to be successful in the real world? But the more time I spend in the real world, the more I realize how many opportunities there are. That's what people need to understand. People need to grow up. Indian society needs to grow up. So if you have a dream, and no matter how crazy that dream sounds, remember, if there was a time to actually execute on that dream and become successful as that person you want to become, this is the time to do it. That's all you've got to know. And as always, if you want me to answer one of your questions, leave it in the comments below. So Malik Adnan, I hope that this video answered your question. And until next time guys, from Ranveer, see you.